Yeah, we're going live on Facebook and YouTube, so thanks for jumping in on Facebook and YouTube as well. Let's do a little bit of balance, and a nice way to start a little balance practice off is just to make ourselves a little bit unbalanced for a Thursday morning. Obviously, anything we do today, if it feels uncomfortable, if you are feeling a little bit dizzy, then just stop and make sure you're safe, that you've got space around you, that you're safe. We're just going to take our arms out to the side, and we're going to go to the right. Now I'm not going to mirror you, I am going to go to the right, so I'll go in the opposite direction. We go to the right and we just circle around 7 times. Doesn't have to be quick. And then when you've done that, just take your time just to find your balance. Good. And of course, when we're focusing on balance, the first thing we want to focus on is balancing on 2 legs. So just a reminder, we touched on this last week a little bit, center of gravity of your pelvic area, your pelvic bowl area. If you go about 3 finger widths down from the belly button in towards the spine, in Qigong, lower dantian, and just make sure that you aren't tilting the pelvis, you aren't tightening the lower back or anything. You just almost like imagining you've got a little weight on the tailbone, and that's just gently pulling down. No tightness as you're standing, no tightening of the glutes, just lengthening the lower back. And also it's nice, as we've done in the breath work before, just to breathe into that point there. So you might want to just get your fingers like that, bring that focus below the belly button, just put a little bit of pressure there if it feels comfortable. And feel how that area responds as you're breathing in and breathing out. It's that idea of centering yourself, of grounding yourself, of bringing the breath down. Now obviously we're not breathing into that area, it's just the response. So connection to the ground, center here. And then remember the center of the torso. We've done a lot of work in terms of getting this thoracic spine mobilized, rotational, and extension and flexion. So it's just having that little bit of lift here without thrusting the ribs out. It's very easy just to pull the shoulders back, chest out, the ribs thrust out. Bring the ribs in the body, but keep that spine long here. And that gives that head a little bit of balance on top of the spine. So it's really key when we're thinking about balance, because if we don't have this upper body balanced, then it's when we're balancing on one leg and things like that, when we're walking, when we're running, we are going to be overcompensating in different areas. So just getting those 3 centers of gravity balanced. And then another one that we practiced, I think on Tuesday, it was either Tuesday or last Thursday, is that take a step. So again, this is a nice balance practice. So I'm going to mirror you, step with the left foot, left hip comes forwards, right arm comes forwards and flow, sorry, left arm comes forward. So you're going that one side and then step back. Stabilize again on those 2 sides and then step forwards with the right hip, arm, and then step back. Balance. And then notice that you stabilize before you step on that opposite side. So I'm stabilizing now on my left, on my right, if I get the sides the right way around. Mirroring you, stabilizing on the right. Step with the left hip, left shoulder. And then just do that, finding your flow. So stabilize, step, All the time balanced, all the time in control. Slow, no rush. So we're not just falling from one side of the body to the other side. You're very confident and controlled, stabilizing, stepping. Feel that space between the hip and the rib cage. So feel that expansion of the rib cage also. And you can breathe just easy, or if you feel you're breathing with the movement or want to breathe with the movement, we can breathe in as we expand, because that's quite nice, because you can breathe into that side of the ribs. Breathe out as you step back. Keep it smooth, no rush. And think about when we're doing all the Qigong flows that we're not going, oh, I'm there and now I'm there. It's that slow movement. It's that sequence of events. Soft, 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 soft. And if you want to, what you can do is you can just put in a little bit of balance. You can just raise that back heel as you've shifted the weight again. So you can just make that a little bit more challenging, stabilize. And then as you're raising the arm, you're just raising that back heel. I'll just show you from the side. So if I'm balancing, rotating, just bending the knee as he falls over, bending the knee and stepping back down. Do it as slow as you can. Let's do a couple more in your own time. And then take a rest. Let's just do a little bit of knocking. So feet, shoulder width. Breathing easy. Remember keeping tall through the spine, lifting and lengthening through the spine, keeping that back of the neck long. Slowing it down into water waves. And then take a rest. Palm towards the ground and then just reaching up towards the sky, and then swap. So slowly reaching up, lengthening. Feel that space there between, again, that rib cage expanding. You can stretch out the fingers, stretch out the hands. Do one more to each side. Take a rest. And then bring your feet hip width apart. So when we go hip width, it's the inner hip. So think about the head of the femur bone, the head of the leg bone there, and then just dropping the feet down. We're not going to the side of the hips like that. Hip width apart, and then we are just going to, I'll mirror you, step back with your left foot. It's only a little step back, so I'll show you from the side. You're just doing a little step back with your left foot there, and you've got the ball of the foot on the ground. So we're there. If you've got your left foot back, we're going to slightly drop out that left hip, and we're going to do that same movement and then just banana over to the side a little bit. So that hip's coming out a little bit. And then we're going to come back to the center. You're going to step back up to the center, and then you're going to step back a little bit with the other foot, balance. That hip drops out just a little bit, and then we reach over. So again, it's balance and it's a good stretch as well. Do that slowly. Make sure, as always, you keep breathing. Make sure you're balanced first. Hip drops out. You can push through. Slowly back. It's a nice one. It's a good one if your feet are a little bit tight as well. If we're doing the foot session tomorrow, you'll notice the difference when you've done your foot mobility with this one as well. Because you've really got to be stable, particularly because you're dropping that hip out a little bit. Going side to side. Just keep going in your own time. Oop. Let's do one more each side. Good. Take a rest. Let's have a good shake of the ankles now. Shake it from the hip. Shaking out your leg. Opposite side. Just give a good shake. That's good. I needed that. I could feel that click I needed to come in my right foot. That's better. Good. Take a stand. Let's go shoulder width apart. Let's do flying. Breathing in, just balancing evenly both sides now, and just double check that. Make sure you feel as if you are balanced evenly both sides. Just really tuning with your connection to the ground. Lengthening up the spine. Expanding as you're breathing in. And then when you're ready, just start shifting the weight. So I'm going to shift to the left side if I'm mirroring you. I'm just peeling that right heel off the ground. Really feel that strength through that whole left side of the body. And then back down. And then you shift the weight, stabilize and be strong through the right side. Peel that heel. The slower you go, the more benefit you're going to get from it. You're just really taking your time. Really feel that subtle difference between the weight on the standing leg and then just that connection of the ball of the foot, the bubbling spring, on the leg where you're lifting the heel, or the foot where you're lifting the heel. See if you can keep that soft connection. How do the toes feel? Softening and relaxing the toes a little bit so the toes aren't grabbing. And then if you feel comfortable, just shifting the weight and then just lifting the knee. And again, very gently keep that motion of the arms moving, the ball of the foot connecting the ground. You can step out a little bit more with this one as well, out to the side a little bit more. Balance, breathe. Soft down, slowly down. It's almost like kissing the floor gently. Remember that little visualization with this one. I always like to feel that if you have the hip, the weight in the femur of the hip, that's dropping down to lift the knee. So you're almost like creating space in the hip to lift the knee. So the hip stays low and that just lifts, so you're creating space. That femur bone is dropping down. Breathing in, breathing out. So do one more each side. This is a really good balance one. And then take a rest. Again, check in if you need to shake anything out. Have a little bit of a shake out. And then remember, I think we did this a while back actually, the Tai Chi kick. So this one you go slightly wider with the feet, so maybe shoulder width and a half a bit. And then we're going to shift the weight to the left. So it's almost like a shift. Do you know when we're doing dog wags the tail? It's almost like that shift to the left. So everything goes to the left. You're going to bring your right wrist in front of your left wrist. You're going to balance on that left leg and then you're going to kick out, flex that foot. And then we're going to step again, take a step a little bit lower down. Balance, left wrist in front of right wrist. Kick out, flex, really flex that foot. Flex the foot up, kick out. And then down, you can go low, then raise up and kick. And then just going side to side. See if you can go, maybe go a little bit lower, raise up, stand tall, kick. And then find your rhythm. Really flex that foot. Standing leg is pretty straight, so you stand tall on that standing leg, kick out to the side. So it's imagining you kicking out to that side. If you had an opponent, you were kicking them away there, and then you're kicking out to that side. Breathing, but do the kick slowly. Even though if it was a real kick, you do it fast. Just go slow. So keep that movement slow again. Keep it smooth and slow. Let's do a couple more. And then take a rest when you're ready. You might need a little bit of a shake out of the legs there, a little bit of a shake out of the hands. Good, I'm getting warm in here now. Let's do some tigers. Normal tigers, just lowering, coming up. Remember with the tiger, we're lowering your center of gravity. So think of that center of gravity, hips go back, this center of gravity lowering down, you keep tall through the spine. So I'm not leaning towards the ground too much. And then you push up, stand up tall. Stretch out the fingers as you're going down. Two more in your own time. And then take a rest. Remember, it's not about the depth that you go, it's keeping that spine long, keeping that chest slightly lifted. Even if you just get to here, that's absolutely fine. Now we're going to add a little bit more of a balance, a single leg balance in that, or an emphasis to one leg balance to that. We've done this before. It's where you step forward, so it's just 1 foot step forward and out to the side. We go down the center, and then we're on this side of the leg. You're just using this leg predominantly to come back up to standing. If I show you from the side, we're not going into a lunge or anything like that. You're literally just doing a step out to the side, lower, but then when you shift your center of gravity forward, you're coming up on this leg. You don't have to lift that opposite leg off the floor. I just want you to emphasize that side of the body. So let's go lower. Oh, sorry, we'll do the step first. Do a step with the left, lower. So now you can feel that left leg is working a little bit more. You're shifting your center of gravity forwards and you're using that left leg to stand up. And then we step back, step with the right, lower. So now the majority of weight is on this right leg. Use that right leg to come up to standing, stand tall. It's not a big step forwards, it's literally, if your heel is there, your toe is there, it's 1 foot space forwards. And you need to still go quite wide on the stance. You still need to do like a tiger stance. Good. Make sure you still keep wide at the hips here. So I'm not here. If you go here, it's not the right emphasis on this practice. So wide at the hips. Step. Again, nice and slow. Do one more each side. And then take a rest, shaking out the legs. Yeah, just watch that space. Oh, got something stuck on the bottom of my foot. Just watch that space in the hips. It could be the camera angle, but some of you on Zoom are a little bit too close together. So you're getting these weird movements rather than stepping out and coming down like a tiger. There's nothing wrong in doing a short stance, and we can play around with that. You can do a lunge, but we're not doing a lunge. We're doing a step out to the side, hips lower center of gravity. So it's that type of movement. Good, shaking out. And then we'll do a little bit of coordination. You're balancing both sides of the brain with a nice little Qigong flow. Pushing your arm out to the side. And then the back of the palm of the other hand comes towards the forehead. And then we come to the center. And you point your fingers at your elbow. I'll come a little bit closer so you can see. Fingers at the elbow. And then you just go to the opposite side. And then same thing back to the center, fingers to the elbow. And then just make that into a nice flow. You can stretch out the fingers. There's just one more. And then just interlocking your thumbs, bringing your fingers to the lower abdomen, the lower Dan Chen, bringing your feet together. And just taking a moment just to close your eyes. Again, another brilliant balance practice. So you can always spend a little bit longer doing bamboo in the wind, and that's a perfect balance practice as well. It's letting your body find its natural balance. Excellent. And then taking a slightly fuller breath in, opening your eyes. We could have done a little bit more bamboo in the wind there. It would have been nicer, but obviously we've gone over the 8:30 time. So just a reminder that classes next week move to Mondays and Wednesdays. So 8 to 8:30 a.m. on Monday. Somebody remind me in the WhatsApp, please, to do the class. 8 to 8:30 a.m. on Monday. 8 to 8:30 a.m. Wednesday. If you're on the Zoom, then you can jump in at 7:45 for the chat on Wednesday. We'll be doing that. And also a reminder that we've got the foot function lunch and learn tomorrow. It will be practical. Some of the lunch and learns are you sit there and have your lunch and we just learn stuff. This will be practical. It'll be a great session as well because we've got Phil and Julie doing that session. It's 1 till 2 p.m. tomorrow. You should have had an email on that. If not, I'll put a link below this video as well. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining. Have a good weekend and have a great rest of the day. Bye. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye.